So I was so excited, okay? That was a Monday. So Tuesday, early in the morning, I went to the office. I called the first guy. He was on leave. Didn't come to work. I called the second guy. Second guy says, no, my brother is also doing the same business you are doing. If ever I want to buy anything, I'll buy from my brother, not you. Gone. Second name gone. Third, I called. Guy on sick leave. He was sick, he didn't come. The fourth and fifth, same problem. They were not interested, they were not keen. And I told myself, that's it. Tuesday, I got 3 more days to go, 5 names gone. And as I was just about to take the paper and throw in the dustbin, suddenly I realized the paper my friend wrote was what you call letterhead. You know letterhead? The name of the company and all that written there. So I look at it, and the letterhead was Narayanan and Co. Narayanan and Company. Okay? Narayanan and Company. And then down there I saw a telephone number. I said, maybe this is the 6th name. Okay. Maybe this is the 6th name. Okay? So I called, and the receptionist picked up the phone, and you know, one of the things I learned is how to throw my voice over the phone. Okay? This is something I've learned. It's something that if you're working with people where the first touch with them is over the phone, learn to have a good voice control. Okay? I've learned it because the first impression over the phone is your voice. Am I right?
Absolutely.
They don't know who you are, but your voice gives them the first impression. And I love to call the girls, because the girls listen to my voice, they already picture my face. It's true, I'm telling you. Anybody calls you, you picture their face. Am I right or not? So I like to call girls. Actually, most of my clients are girls. So today I see very few girls here. You know. Anyway, give a hand to all the ladies who are here today, okay? So I call these girls, I play with my voice, and I know they don't want to do any business with me, but they want to see me.
Wow.
I know that because the voice, you understand now? The voice. So I push them for an appointment. And when I see them, then I say, oh, ugly looking guy. Okay, but doesn't matter. The most important is to be face to face with them. Am I right or not? Huh?
Yes.
If you are using telephone technique, the most important is to sell the appointment, not to sell the product. So, anyway, so I called Mr. Narayanan, the receptionist put the call through me, and I said, Mr. Narayanan, you do not know me, my name is Raghu, you know. I got your name from somebody, I just thought I would come and share with some financial planning with you. And this is his voice, okay? Raghu, how do I know you? When I heard his voice, straight away I knew, this is an old guy. I picture his face, he's an old man. And I say, oh my God, the 6th name also, old guy I'm calling. But then I didn't want to give up. I said, Mr. Narayanan, told him a story. He gave me an appointment. Oh, I was excited. Found out that his office is not far from my office. I packed my briefcase and he asked me to come now. So I went up there. I went up to his office, and I saw all these Indian gods and demigods, you know, Ganesha, Shiva, whatever photographs of these Indian gods were all over his office. And I was thinking to myself, is this an office or is this a temple? Like a temple to me, you know. Anyway, I went in, knocked the door, he opened, and there was this guy sitting down there, fully bald, okay? And then he had this vibhuti, is it vibhuti?
Yeah.
The white thing over his forehead, and then he had the red one over his forehead. I said, this sounds like a Swamiji to me, you know. I said, oh my God, this guy is going to preach me something, you know. So anyway, I went to meet him, I went to talk to him, and to cut the story short, ladies and gentlemen, that guy became my first client. Give me that, okay? He became my first client. And not only he became my first client, he told me, look, I think my wife also should take up a program. And the wife became my second client. Wow! I went once, I got 2 businesses, okay? And this is my first client. I was overwhelmed because the feeling of working for 3.5 months and at last getting an application signed is a wonderful feeling. Believe me, okay? Wonderful feeling. In fact, today Kanak asked us in the meditation program, think about a happy moment. Kanak, that was the moment I thought about, okay? A happy moment, the first business I got, after 3.5 months. And later, when I went to see Mr. Narayanan, I only asked him one question, ladies and gentlemen. I asked him, Mr. Narayanan, why? Why did you buy this from me? You are already, about 60? You got 3 kids, your kids are all engineers, doctors, and you are so, you're a successful guy. Why? Why did you get this from me? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what he answered? Do you want to know? Hello? Yes. Do you want to know?
Yes.
This is what he said. And this thing that he said to me, I have kept it in my heart until today. And every time I feel that I want to give up, I think about what he said. And that inspired me to keep on going in life. Because life is just not a straight road. Okay? You have ups and downs, And during your downs, you need to have an anchor. And Mr. Narayanan became my anchor. And you know what he said? He said, Raghu, young man, when the first day you walked into my office, I looked at your eyes. Every time I feel like giving up, I think about him and what he told me. So, do me a favor now. All of you here, look into my eyes now. Look into my eyes. And let me now repeat what Mr. Narayanan told me, and I repeat to you guys now. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're doing now, if this is what you love to do, keep striving. Keep working hard on this. Because believe me, you will become successful if you keep focusing on what you're doing. And just do what you think is the right thing to do. And never, never, never give up. So this, I hope what Mr. Narayanan told me, Mr. Narayanan didn't tell me that, but I hope whatever I told you, that when you feel down, let that anchor you into your heart and tell yourself, I'll keep going, I'm sure you've heard of so many stories of people who didn't give up. And I'm sure if you have also have that kind of spirit of not giving up and fighting till the end, I'm sure you'll become successful in whatever you're doing. And that was the message Mr. Narayanan gave in 1984. How come this thing moved, huh? That's what happened in 1984. So from 1984 to 2004, I was in this business, financial planning. In fact, in 1994 or 95, we went into retail financial services. Okay? Retail financial services is exactly what you were mentioning yesterday. It talked about how do you distribute your wealth. Who do you want your wealth to go to? Will writing, trust. This I was doing in 1995. Okay? Formed a company where we engaged the services of this company to do wills and trust for my clients. Okay? And because I believe very strongly, as you accumulate wealth, your biggest problem tomorrow is how do you distribute the wealth? That will be your biggest issue. Okay? So you've got to start thinking now how you're going to distribute the wealth. And you should not be thinking when you're going to die, because nobody knows your date of death. You should actually do it now. And what you rightfully said, you don't need a lawyer. You can just, like you say, videotape it or write it in a piece of paper. But if you do it well, then it's good, it won't be contested. Okay? So, in 1995, we were doing what we call wealth distribution. In Malaysia, we call it unit trust. We don't call it mutual fund. Okay? We call it unit trust. And I was one of the top unit trust sellers in my company. Okay? Selling big, here you call it crow. Is it crow? When you big money you call crow, huh? That we call millions, okay? A million ringgits, okay? So we were selling big time on unit trust. We were also doing what you call general insurance. That means fire insurance, car insurance, house insurance, theft insurance, and of course we were also doing life insurance. So we are basically doing all these financial services. What you're mentioning about financial planning, okay? It's big time business, but the only problem with this financial planning in 1995 or 94 I was doing it, I'm representing one company. So it's not financial planning to the right extent. Financial planning means you represent the client, not the company. The client is the person that you deal with to get the best things from the manufacturer. But in those days, the government did not allow us to do all this. They only allow us to be with one particular manufacturer. So if I was selling mutual fund, I only can sell for one manufacturer. If I'm selling general insurance, I can put myself in another. So we were not financial planning in the true word of financial planning, but the concept was there about wealth accumulation, wealth protection, and wealth distribution. Okay, so we were already doing that, and what I see happening in India today is, I think, yeah, the regulators are pretty strict. I travel around, and I think Indian regulators are the strict, very, very strict. Okay. Even in Singapore, they have this called Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS they call it, okay? Even in Singapore, they have not done what you guys are doing, okay? But Indian government, Indian regulators have gone far ahead to do all this. But believe me, whatever changes that takes place, definitely something good will happen, okay? And give yourself a round, okay? And I'm very glad with these changes that is taking place the last 1 year or 2 years in India, and to see that there are 500 people here hanging on here and having this belief that this will give you the business and the wealth is really, really commendable. Give yourself a round of applause. Fantastic. Believe me, I know I've gone through 20 over years, regulators changing things. Every time they change, in your heart you say, my God, when is the next change going to come? Do you feel like that? Okay? But every change, there is something good. Okay? And if you hang on, and if you do what you're doing right, believe me, these changes are no issue. And because there is a change, it makes you think. It makes you think to do something different. Okay? Because there is a change. And I remember somebody, one speaker said, when you were having the good time, everybody didn't care. Am I right? Everybody didn't care. Everybody just did whatever they want to do. But when the changes came, everybody started thinking, what can I do next? What can I do next? Because definitely the changes will have some positive impact, and you've got to think about that. Okay. So what happened on my years in Malaysia? At year 2004, I decided to leave the country, Malaysia. Okay? And I thought to myself, I must go to another country and look for bigger business. Because Malaysia only had 26 million. I look around, my neighbor was Indonesia. Indonesia had 240 million people. Okay? In the city that I stay, Jakarta has, in the daytime, 12 million people. Nighttime 12 million. Daytime is about 15 million to 16 million people. That Jakarta itself, the bigger Jakarta, is like the whole population of Malaysia. So it didn't take rocket science to tell you that if you go to a country where a bigger population, chances are you can do much better. Am I right? Because our business is about meeting people. Okay? So I made a very, very a risky decision. A very risky decision, because I decided to take my whole family out of Malaysia. I have a wife and three girls, 3 daughters I have. And I spoke to my wife and said, look, we need to move. Just like our forefathers, they were in India before. I'm a 3rd generation Indian in Malaysia. My great-great-grandfather in fact, my grandfather or great-grandfather was from Calcutta. Okay? That's what my mother tells me, okay? And they decided to move from India to come to Malaysia with nothing. They came with nothing, with just a hope that someday something will happen right for them. And they only came with a hope. So I told myself, if my forefathers could do that, why can't I? Where I have the skill. I can talk the language. I can talk the language of Indonesia. Okay? Maybe the culture I need to adapt a little bit, but the Indonesian language I can talk. Okay? I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I'm doing. Why don't I pack my bags and leave this country? And that's what I did in 2005. Okay? In 2005, my age was 45 years old. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, think about that. You guys, some of you are so comfortable in one place. In fact, if you are in Calcutta, you just want to be in Calcutta. You don't want to go anywhere else. You know, because you like the food, because you have friends, so you feel so comfortable. Sometimes the comfort is your killer. Sometimes when you get too comfortable, it's no good for you. You should think of stretching yourself. I'm sure you all can say. Right now, 2012, now I tell to myself, actually it was not a big risk. But 2005, believe me, it was a big risk because I'm uprooting, I'm taking my whole family out. My mother is still in Malaysia, my wife's mother is still in Malaysia. I'm a vegetarian, my 3 children are vegetarian. Indonesia, difficult to get vegetarian food like here. Here got veg and non-veg. Huh? In Indonesia, you tell a fellow veg, they don't understand. They don't understand what is vegetarian. Okay? So can you imagine, even the food is going to be a problem, which is a daily thing. Huh? Every day if you're going to go out and eat food is a daily thing. You know? But I decided, time to pack and go and move to Indonesia, because as I read the economy, I'm not an economist, but when I read the Indonesia economy, I can see the Indonesian economy is going to go on a high. In fact, that's what's happening today. So today, I got 7 to 8 years experience in Indonesia. So anybody want to come to Indonesia, they start 0. Because now people are thinking of coming. Actually, there are a lot of Indians in Indonesia, in coal mining business. Okay, and also palm oil business. But I made this shift 8 years ago, knowing that this country, Indonesia, will go up and I got to go in. Maybe one day, somebody out here will have the same feeling that maybe I should come out of India and do business somewhere else. And if you ever think of doing business in Indonesia, let me know. Okay? Let me know. You never know that out of today's meeting, 1 or 2 of you, one fine day, you also migrate to Indonesia and do business there. You know? So let me know. When I went, I didn't have many people. I didn't know many people. But at least when you come, at least you will know me. Am I right? So if you ever in your wildest dream, which you never thought that you will leave India one day, and one fine day you think you want to do it, and if you look in the map and you throw a dart and the dart lands at Jakarta, give me a call. I'll give you my number later. Would you do that?
Yes.
Similarly, MFRT, you could take this to the next level. You started 4 years ago. It's a commendable feat. It's the first time you're doing this event out of Calcutta, okay, because it's nearby. And I hear that next year is in Hyderabad. Sir, you're from Hyderabad. Give Hyderabad a hand. Yeah. If I have the invitation, I'll come, sir, to Hyderabad. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, how many more minutes do I have? I'm running. 5 more minutes. Actually, I got 2 versions of I Story You. One version of I Story You is 3.5 hours. Okay? Another version of I Story You is 1 hour. So I'm doing the smaller version of the I Story You because of time. Okay? So coming back to this, mutual fund roundtable, I pray that one day mutual fund roundtable behaves something similar to $1 million roundtable in America, and one day from here, the Indian brand goes out of India and creates this brand out of India. You know, today the technology is amazing. Am I right? When Kanak and I, when we were first communicating, we were communicating via email. And then I bought this phone, this new phone, Samsung Galaxy S3, and I was playing with the phone. Suddenly I found there's an application called Tango. Have you heard of it? Yeah. Okay. Tango is an application which is called video calls. Okay? That means I register for free, Kanak registers for free, and what happened? Kanak and I were talking to each other. First time we are seeing each other's face after 9 years over the phone. And it's free, ladies and gentlemen. The call is free. It's called Tango. So if you have a smartphone, download this Tango and you can communicate with anybody around the world who also